Sometime later this year, I'm going to reach a milestone: 50 straight years of working out. I'm not sure exactly what day I started, but I know I was 15 when I began training in the summer of 1976 to make my high school's cross country running team that fall. That means I'll reach the half century mark on my fitness journey in the summer of 2026. In this video, I'm going to share how I was able to keep at it for so long. Specifically, I'm going to share 2 ways I gamified my workouts so that I became almost obsessive about them. When you become obsessed with a healthy habit, being consistent is the easiest thing in the world. The thought of skipping a workout seems almost unbearable. Now, I should clarify that when I say workouts, I mean one of three things: either cardio, which for me was mainly running, though sometimes I rode a stationary bike; calisthenics, like push ups and sit ups; or weight training, usually in a gym, but sometimes at my home. So when I say I've been working out for 50 years straight, I mean I was doing at least one of those things: cardio, calisthenics, or weight training, 3 to 6 times a week. I kept it going through the completion of 2 degrees, the births of 3 children, 2 marriages, 3 business startups, and all the other things that come at you in the course of a life. As best I can remember, I haven't taken any time off during those decades. I do recall 3 periods when I wasn't able to run: once for a stress fracture in my left tibia, once for plantar fasciitis in my right foot, and once for a torn meniscus in my right knee. But I just switched to upper body exercises during those periods. Almost every time I'm at the gym, some young guy comes up to me to ask the same question: "Can I ask how old you are?" What they really mean is, "I can't believe how fit you are at your clearly advanced age." And they usually ask for advice, to which I always make the same reply: start early and never stop. Even if all you have is 1 minute of free time and the floor beneath your feet, at least do one set of push ups a day. If you keep your definition of what constitutes a workout flexible, you can always do something. So, why would you want to keep going at it for 50 years? One of the things I believe, though I can't quantify this or support it scientifically, is that it is possible to lose your fitness momentum somewhere along the line in such a way that you just can't get it back. Of course, studies have shown that you can get benefits from starting a fitness routine at any age, even in your 80s, but there will be limits to what you can accomplish if you have decades and decades of inactivity behind you. Which actually brings me to the subject of motivation. I think it's easier to keep at it if you understand why you want to keep at it. As far as I can tell, there are 5 basic motivations. Reason one: aesthetic. I'm talking about appearance here. Basically, you want to build the best living sculpture you can. That's totally me. To a certain extent, I look at my body as a long-term art project. Reason two: mental health. This has always been my wife's motivation: to use exercise to get out of her head when anxiety is a problem. Reason three: function. Some people want a body that will do whatever they ask of it in any given situation. Simple as that. Reason four: performance. For a lot of athletes, they exercise to accomplish more during the sport of their choice, to elevate their game, from bouldering to biking to basketball. And finally, reason five: goal setting. By that, I mean it's fun and rewarding to pursue continuous improvement over a long period. Having a target to aim for and working hard to reach it brings a unique kind of engagement with life. The nice thing is, whichever single motivation keeps you working out, you actually get all 5 benefits. Even if you, like me, are vain and care mainly about your appearance, you also get the mental health benefits, functional benefits, performance benefits, and goal setting benefits. Okay, I could talk for a long time about things I learned on my 50-year fitness journey, but I thought I'd narrow it down to 2 ways I gamified my workouts at different periods to keep them interesting. The first gamifying strategy I want to talk about had to do with running. I was a serious 5 to 10K runner for many years, not in the competitive sense of entering races, but in the sense that I tried really hard every time I went out and set aggressive goals for improvement. I guess you could say I was competing against myself. When I was running at my most serious, I had a 12-kilometer route that I ran at least 4 times a week. And I was very serious about improvement, and I settled on an approach that I'd never heard about from anyone else, but that really worked for me. It's called segment stacking. I say it's called segment stacking because that's what I named it, because I invented it. What I would do is go out and, with my Ironman watch, click off at different spots along the way. They weren't evenly measured, but I was my first footfall on the bridge over the creek, and my first footfall on the corner of the sidewalk at Rutherford Road, et cetera, all the way through. So I had 10 different breaks, 10 segment times stored on my watch at the end of each run. I would enter them into a spreadsheet and then have obviously the total time for the run. But the spreadsheet was programmed to do something interesting, which is it would continuously measure what was my fastest time on each segment. So I might find on August 12th, I ran segment one the fastest. And on August 18th, I ran segment two the fastest. And way back in May, I ran segment three the fastest. So my spreadsheet was designed to take all those fastest ever segments, combine them into one, and that became my new target. So I would stack the segments into a single idealized route. So what I would then do is when I go out, very high tech here, I would write in pen on my hand my target for each segment of the run. And so I would know right away, okay, when I hit that little bridge over the creek, I'm a second ahead. That's great. Or I'm 3 seconds behind, better speed it up. And using those immediate feedbacks to this idealized run I had never done before, except in tiny pieces, allowed me to make big gains in my running. So I gamified what was just a general process that we all engage in, which is keeping track of the running times that we have when we go out, and turned it into a continuous improvement machine. The second gamifying strategy I used is something I've been doing the last few years, and that involves trying to max out on as many pieces of equipment as I can at the gym. I like the idea of lifting the most that the designer of the apparatus could ever imagine anyone lifting. So far, I've been able to top out on the calf raise at 310 pounds, the preacher curl at 200 pounds, the preacher triceps extension, also 200 pounds, as well as a few other machines. I also extended my pursuit beyond just the weight stack machines to other upper limit possibilities that were present in the gym. For example, since the heaviest dumbbells at my gym are 100 pounders, I set out to do 6 reps of a 200-pound dumbbell bench press and finally got there last September. But the accomplishment I'm probably most proud of was maxing out on the hip thrust machine. At least that's what I call it. I don't know what the real name is. The most plates you can fit on either side of that thing is 7. So if you add in the weight of the carriage, the total lifted is 645 pounds. My goal was to finish 8 reps at that weight, which I've now done many times. I enjoyed it, I have to admit, partly because it looks ridiculous with all that weight on the apparatus. It feels good to see no one lifting even close to that weight ever, even the guys who appear to be much stronger than me and definitely much younger than me. But I also love that it was a 14-month journey to get from my starting max of 375 pounds all the way up to 645. Grinding out continuous personal bests felt really good. And while it didn't exactly take over my life, I would say I thought about it almost every day. When I started to get to the heavier weights, which I did once a week, I actually had to lay down on the exercise mats for 10 minutes at the end of my sessions. I felt depleted and couldn't foresee even walking out to my car. One day, I even threw up in a garbage pail in the change room. Maybe it's perverse, but I actually love the feeling of making maximum effort and knowing that I didn't have one iota of unused capacity left over. The most gratifying thing about my Max Out project was that I was doing it as a senior citizen. Yikes, it feels weird to say that. I've never actually called myself that before, but it's what I am. And having worked out in gyms for many decades, I did not expect to be lifting my heaviest weights in my 60s. Like, I've done dumbbell bench press all my life and maybe maxed out at 70 pounders before. I didn't see the 100 pounders in my future at all. Anyway, I could talk a lot more about fitness stuff, but I think that's enough for today. I'll probably be doing lots of fitness videos in the future, actually. There are so many ways to stay motivated through the years if you want to maintain a lifelong fitness practice. But maybe today I've inspired you to try gamifying your workouts to keep yourself engaged along the way. You can try my approaches or you can make up your own. Anyway, the name of this project is 60 Someday. The idea being that you can directly affect the life you live in your 60s by locking in good habits and ways of thinking in your teens, 20s, and 30s. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today, and good luck to you on your own workout adventure. Oh, and if you'd like to see more of my mentoring videos, you can do that by liking and subscribing. It really does make a difference.